Hey y'all, day 3's math lesson, so you should be on your teacher model. Your question says Maria adopted 4 dogs. Altogether, they eat 1 3/4 pounds of food each day. If 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces, how many ounces of food will the dogs eat in 5 days? So I've kind of set up the problem for you already. We want to know how much they're going to eat total if they have 5 days to do it. And in 1 day, they're eating 1 3/4 pounds of food. Then it gives you the hint that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. And if you're struggling to remember that, this 1 pound symbol, the LB, looks very similar to 16. So it kind of helps us remember 16 ounces is in 1 pound. Okay. Now we learned a few days ago that the measurements have to be the same before I can do anything. And this is 1 3/4 pounds, and they're wanting my answer in ounces. So pounds and ounces are not the same thing. So you could do this a couple different ways. You could choose to find in pounds the total and then convert it, or you could choose to convert it now and then multiply by the days. I'm one of those people to where I want to find the total first. So if I'm looking to find the total first, I know if I'm looking for the total, that means I'm either going to add or multiply. Since I'm doing 5 days and 1 day is 1 3/4, on day 2 it was 1 3/4, on day 3 it was 1 3/4. It's the same number. So for me, it's going to be easier to multiply since that is repeated addition. So I have 1 3/4. I want to multiply that by 5. Okay. When we're multiplying mixed numbers like this, we normally do it with a box. So right underneath it, I'm going to go ahead and draw my box method. Okay. I'm going to split it in half up and down the bottom. 1 whole goes on one side. 3/4 is going to go on the other. And then 5 wholes is over here by itself. So now we're going to use it like a multiplication chart and work our way inside. So inside this box, I have 1 times 5. 1 times 5 is 5, so I'm going to circle my answer. Then in this box, I have 3/4 times 5. Well, I don't know how to multiply something like this, but I do know how to multiply two fractions. So if I put a 1 underneath the 5, it's still an equivalence to 5 wholes. But now it looks like two fractions so that I can multiply straight across on the top and bottom. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 1 is 4. Now this is an improper fraction, so I need to divide it. 4 on the outside, 15 on the inside. If I needed some easy facts, I can do 1, 2. I'm going to go ahead and do 3/4. 15 is pretty small, and I know 10 times 4 is 40, and that's much too big. So 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. I only have 15, so 16 is too big. I can't use it, so I'm going to subtract 12. That's a 3 off to the side because 3 times 4 is 12, and we are subtracting. Leaves me with 3 left over. So since I only have 3, I cannot make another group of 4. I don't have enough. So that's going to become my remainder. So I have 3 wholes, 3 left out of 4, and I'm going to circle it because that's my answer. So now if I take these two numbers and add them together, I will know the total that they ate in pounds. Okay? So I have 5 wholes, then I have 3 3/4. So go ahead and notice how I lined up my whole numbers and then left this space blank because I don't have a fraction to go there. So I'm going to add in 0/4 just to keep myself lined up so that I'm not messing up. 0 plus 3 is 3, and my denominator always stays the same because I'm not changing the size of the pieces. I'm changing how many pieces I have. Then I move to my whole number. 5 plus 3 is 8. So this is the total that they ate in pounds. Okay. So now we need to change that into ounces. There are 16 ounces in a pound. So now I need to do 8 3/4 times 16. Now I'm going to erase my board so I have some space. So if you are not finished with this, make sure you click pause. So we now are trying to do 8 3/4 times 16. This is my total in pounds. 16 will turn it into ounces because there are 16 ounces in a pound. Okay. Now, we might not know how to set this up, but I do know that I can use the box just like before. So I'm going to draw a box. Okay. I'm going to split this part in half, make this 8 holes, and then 3/4 for my fraction. Then I'm going to choose to write 16 off to the side. Now, if you feel more comfortable making this 10 and then 6, like the box method, feel free. Our answers should be the same. So in this box, I'm going to do 16 times 8. I don't know 16 times 8 off the top of my head, so I'm going to have to do some math. So I'm doing 16 times 8 using the standard algorithm. Okay. First thing I'm going to come to is 8 times 6. Well, in my head, I know 6 times 6 is 36. So then if I add 16 more, 36 times or plus 16 equals 52. Put my 2, carry my 5. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. So 16 times 8 is 132. Now I can move to this box. I'm doing 16 holes times 3/4. Now just like yesterday, I do not know how to multiply straight like this, but I do know I can put a 1 underneath 16 for it to turn into a fraction and stay equivalent. Now I can multiply straight across. I know 1 times 4 is 4. It's the easy one, so I'm trying to get it over with. Now I'm doing 16 times 3. Well, it goes 16, and if I add 16, it turns into 32. Then 32 plus 16 is 48. So now I have 48/4, which is an improper fraction, which tells me I need to turn it into a mixed number by dividing. So 4 is on the outside. 48 goes on the inside. And if I needed my easy facts, I can do 1, 2, 5, and 10. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 4 is 20.
Miss Richardson, when you're ready,
10 times 4 is 40.
Tub is ready for you.
40 is pretty close, so I'm going to subtract 40. That is a 10. 10 times 4 is 40. Leaves me with 8 left over. So now 40 is too large. 20 is too large, but I can subtract 8, which is a 2 off to the side and leaves me with nothing. 10 plus 2 is 12, so now I've circled it. So now we're almost done. We're going to take our two answers, which is 132 plus 12, and add them together. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 0 is 1. So it equals 144 ounces.